so let me fix the camera first so you can actually see me. All right. That'll have to suffice, I think. We'll make that work, okay? So, thanks to everybody who's here. This is the May 2023. God, what year is it? Yeah, 2023 live stream. Hey, Jennifer. Your comment is the first I've seen. I will go through and see if I missed any. Basically, I'm just gonna kind of ramble for a second until some people pop on, because normally it takes a minute or two. Okay, live chat. Okay, Jennifer, I think your comment is the first and the only I can see. I swear there was a comment before yours, though, that I think it had an orange profile picture, but I don't see it now. So maybe it disappeared after I started the stream. So sorry to whoever that was. So I am coming to you today from Alum Creek State Park in Delaware County, Ohio. You're gonna see a lot of stuff going on around me. Ignore the mess in the back seat. That's where I live. I'm at like a mountain bike trail kind of place, so you're gonna see people behind me here. I've got my windows down because it's a little bit hot. And basically there's gonna be bikes, there's gonna be people. So just know there's a lot of stuff that's gonna be going on. But you guys are right. I thought about either rescheduling this for next week or just doing it from the car, and so we're doing it from the car. So I had planned on just doing this at the library. You can check out rooms there, like little study rooms, and I was gonna film a video there, but then they're closed for the holiday. And I mean, I realized that they were gonna be closed Monday, but I didn't know they were gonna be closed the Sunday before as well. So that's why we're here. I see there are comments coming in, so let me get to those. Oh God, am I starting to miss these again? I hope we're not doing that. Okay guys, so you guys might have to help me with the comments because I don't know if I can see all of them, but I don't have my laptop here, obviously. So Justin F says the person was basically surprised YouTube reminded him ahead of time. Okay. Sandra says, yeah, it was Polemic who texted first. Wow, for once YouTube notifies me ahead of time. Okay. And we were about to die says, yay. Jennifer, how long have you lived in your car? So I have been living in my car since the night of Cinco de Mayo. So almost a month now. And actually, look, while we're on that topic, I wanted to run an idea by you guys and see what you thought. So I have been really behind on things, but I'm slowly getting caught up to where maybe I have a little bit more time to work on some stuff. And what I wanted to know, I know in the past people have asked me to do like vlog style videos. Would you guys be interested in like knowing, well, kind of like a vlog style video, maybe week by week of me living in the car until I get another apartment, of like what my day-to-day is like, and I don't know, basically that, where I end up because I don't have like a place to go, what it's like, you know, living at truck stops and that kind of stuff. And then I thought maybe I could do a, well, not right now, but I could do like a apartment tour, but just like showing you the different areas in my car where certain things go. Let's see, there's just a comment. Justin says, what happened to the apartment you were in? So basically, my last video I made was a live stream. It was story time about my roommate trying to stab me, and that's why. I've been having problems with my roommates for a long time now, like over a year. They weren't nice people. but things kept escalating, and then on the night of Cinco de Mayo that happened, and I mean, he was trying to throw me out during the conversation. I already had decided I was going to move out as soon as I had the money to get a place. I was a little worried about, like, morally breaking the lease, so I just took it as the opportunity to get out. And, you know, I was paying him so much money in rent and utilities and cleaning fees, and he was just scamming me. That getting out from under that almost $800 per month charge that I've been paying for more than a year, that really motivated me as well, because it was like, yeah, it's gonna suck to live in my car, but I will make progress so much faster not being held back by that. Well, and the other thing is too, by living in my car, I can actually live where I work, because I work in Columbus, I lived in Athens, and I had that commute every day, but living in my car, I can just live in my car in Columbus, and not only do I have the opportunity to make more money because I'm up here more, but I also don't have to have that commuting expense, and I don't waste the time of commuting and like an hour or more each way every day. So I have more time. Let me see here. I got a little behind on comments. Jennifer says, yes, sounds like a great idea for vlogs. So here's the thing. I originally was going to start filming it like the week I became homeless. So it's going to be a little weird series because I'm not starting at the beginning. But if I were to start it this week, I'm not real good at that shooting style. I think I have time now to edit because I've figured out a way to make some time available in the evenings to get on my computer. But also there are people around me, if you guys hear that. But basically what I'm thinking about doing is just kind of starting, explaining, hey, this is week 5 or whatever it is of me living in my car, and then start doing the day-to-day from there. Like I said, it would be a little weird because I'm not starting at the beginning of being homeless, but I end up a different place every night. I sleep in a different place every night. The only thing about this series is that if I do this, I will have to wait until I'm not currently doing this anymore. Like, I can go ahead and make the videos and I can edit them, and I can even release them like one a week, like where I'm filming it as one a week. But I don't want to do that until I'm out of this life, because I want to make sure that, like, I'm not revealing the places that I'm sleeping. And, you know, if somebody calls a store and was like, hey, this dude's sleeping in your parking lot, I don't want to get in trouble for that kind of thing. Okay, so let's see comments again. We Who Are About to Die Salute You says, yes, I'm assuming that's for the vlogs. Make that money. Honestly, I don't know if you mean about vlogs. We'll see if that makes money. We'll see if people watch them. Maybe you're not even talking about that. Maybe you're talking about just working in Columbus. But what the heck is that? Tree seed. But anyway, so what I'm going to be doing is I will start making the vlogs then. And also, if you're watching this afterward, like when it's not live, still leave a comment and let me know if you're interested in that. The problem with vlogs is, in the past, people have asked me to make vlogs before, and I've made a couple of them and they get very few views. Like, probably less than a quarter of what a normal video would get. So it's just kind of discouraging to do that, but we'll see. Maybe the subject matter will interest people. But also, who was it? Okay, We Who Are About to Die. If you're talking about doing other jobs, like, yeah, I'm making a lot more money being up here and also not having the expenses of driving back and forth. Jennifer says, how has it been living in your car? Well, I wouldn't say it's been bad. I mean, I think anybody would say if you had a choice between living in your car and like living in a house or something, you'd probably live in the house. But really the only pain points are just logistical. It's like, where am I going to sleep at night? Is it going to be really cold? And then as it gets warmer, I'm like waking up earlier than I normally would, just because I wake up like boiling hot, realizing that like I'm like baking in the sun. So there's things like that. There's just, it's kind of a pain in the ass to drive to the gym in the morning to take a shower. But honestly, like, it's not terrible. Like, it's okay. And I'm working on making things more efficient. Like these little things that are bothering me, I'm trying to find some solutions for them. But I mean, the big thing that I'm looking at is just money. Is like, let's get stuff paid off, let's make more money at the same time, and let's move ahead and kind of get out of this hole that I'm in. And so that's kind of the way that I'm looking at it. Sandra says, I literally do watch certain YouTubers who share different lifestyles or having meals in their van life. Quite interesting to watch. Tabby IE is one such person from Japan. I haven't heard of that person. There's a girl named Rosa who lives in her Honda Element and travels the national parks. I've watched some of her stuff. And then there's a girl named Christian, and I can't remember her last name. She has a fully built out van. Now, obviously, that's not the case with me, but she also used to be a manager at Abercrombie & Fitch, so that's kind of how like I knew her. So this is going to be a real low budget version of that. But I will do that. We Who Are About to Die Salute You says, something they do here in Kentucky, tinted windows. Do you think you would ever tint your windows? More privacy. Well, I mean, that is one thing that is weird about this car. I think this car has 0 tint on it, but the thing about it is this car is the absolute base model. Like, I don't even have a digital dash, and this is a 2013. So, it's like base as base can be. And maybe that's why it doesn't have tinted windows, but as far as I can tell, they're not even tinted slightly. Now, what I am gonna do, I have a thing. I'll grab it here. I have this thingy. So the first night or two that I stayed in the car, I bought this at Walmart for like $6. This just goes in the windshield though, and it's like one size fits all. But with like parking lot lights shining that direction, that helps me block that out. And I've noticed it helps regulate the temperature in the car a lot. I was able to find on Amazon that there are basically the same material, but like custom made for this car for all the windows. I think that's going to work better than the tinting, because with the tinting, still you can see in. And the other thing is you can still, like, Ohio has, because I'm in Ohio has laws. And they're basically like, they have the laws about, they have these laws about like tinting and how dark it can be, and I don't know how dark that can be. So that's something I'd have to look into as well. I think looking at these things on Amazon, like the custom made ones that are like specifically for this model of car, they're $20 for a pair. So there's like a pair that goes on the front windows, which I'm probably not going to get, and there's $20 for a pair that goes on the back windows, which I'm probably going to get, and then I think it's another $20 for the one that goes across the back windshield. That would be plenty enough for me, plenty enough privacy, and I think that that's going to be cheaper than getting it tinted. Plus, it helps reflect a lot of like the heat that comes in. So that way, even if it's summer, I can sleep in a parking lot and not boil. Let me see. Just got a lot of comments here, so let me scroll back here. Tinted window. Okay, so I answered that about tinted windows. Build that emergency fund in first. Pay yourself first. Okay, so I'm digging myself out of a hole. So I showed you guys this last time. This is my debt list. I update this every month. As you can see, there's still stuff from January, February, March, and April that still needs paid off. There's like a couple things from every month. And then this is May down here at the bottom, which you can see that all but 3 things have been paid, which one of them is scheduled to be taken out tomorrow. I'm starting to make a little bit of progress. But basically, I do not have an emergency fund right now. Well, I do. It's the old one. It has like 12 cents in it. But I'm putting that money aside to pay the first month's rent and security deposit on an apartment. And if there was an emergency, I could take from that and use that. Now, obviously, I don't want to do that because then it's going to be longer before I can get into a place. But it's there. It's in a separate savings account from where my emergency fund is saved. So then, okay. Sorry, I got distracted by one of the comments. I'll get to it I get to it in order here. So basically, yeah. Now the other part of that is, I did say in my 2023 financial goals that I'm not actually trying to build an emergency fund. I'm actually trying to put money toward my credit cards to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Basically, pay down my debt so that available credit is there. That reflects in my credit score because I do need to get that up before I can get into this apartment. And then it is also, I have that available credit if I need to get something, or even to take a cash advance off the credit card if I absolutely had to. That way I'm helping my credit and getting closer to getting into that apartment, but at the same time having availability of some of those funds. So I am putting some money away toward like kind of past debt kind of things and extra debt payments. All right, I'm getting way behind here on the comments, so let me see. We got Max says you're my hero. Well, thanks, dude. I don't know why, but thank you. Daniel RN says, if you are free from rent, could you move to a different part of the country where you might be able to find better work or better places to live? Or do you have to stay where you are? Well, I've definitely thought about that. I just mentioned that girl, Rosa, who I watch, and she lives in a Honda Element that she drives around. And so like basically what she does is during the summer she'll go north to like Idaho, Washington, places that are kind of like cooler, and then in the summer she'll go south like California, Arizona. There's a couple things holding me back from that. Number one is my car, because this poor car has 210,000 miles on it and it has problems. It's reliable, but I don't want to push it. If I had a newer car that I was doing this in, I think I wouldn't question probably doing that. The other issue is that now that I'm in Columbus, I'm building a lot of furniture. I'm making a lot of money doing that. And I don't have all of it sorted out, and it's not as much, like it's not as much traffic coming in as it was last year, where I was like absolutely killing it. but this is a very good way for me to make a lot of money. That's like, because I'm charging like around $30 an hour, and I'm working nearly full time. So it's like something that I would have a very difficult time finding anything making this much more money anywhere else. Now, a lot of the leads for my furniture assembly come through TaskRabbit. And the thing about TaskRabbit is it's only available in certain cities. Generally, most of like the major cities in the US. But if you move from one area to another, it kind of screws up your scheduling, and then you're kind of like, you might not get work for like a week or two while you're transitioning. I mean, there's some complications with it, basically. I'm not ruling it out, but I'm gonna probably spend the summer here in Columbus. And then, of course, my lawsuit. I have to physically drive to West Virginia to check my P.O. box. And any hearings that I have to go to, I have to physically go to West Virginia to do. So there are some things that are tying me here, at least for this year. All right, so let's get through, because I've got so many comments. I appreciate it. I don't mean to complain, guys. I'm glad you're all here. Max says, tell me about a time nepotism screwed you over. Ooh. Well, nothing pops into my mind right away. I would say probably like the biggest thing is usually that's like if you're in a job situation and they give the job to a family member or something, but I can't really think of anything like that. I don't think I've been in that kind of situation. I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know. We Who Are About to Die Salute You says, I do not think they have very good laws in Kentucky. I see tent where it is pretty much just black. Yeah, I see that here too, West Virginia and Ohio, but I'm pretty sure it's illegal. They probably just don't really enforce it, but I also don't want to get, like, I don't want to give them any reason to pull me over or anything like that, and I can't afford a ticket, so. Jennifer says, Joey the Gypsy is another guy who lives in his car and vlogs about that life. He recently got his car wrecked, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, I'm worried about that too. Like, I drive a lot less now because I'm hardly doing DoorDash, because like I've been spending all my time building furniture, which is great because I can make money without having to drive around and spend gas. But when I do drive around, I do worry. I'm like, what if, like, you know, what if something does happen? I mean, I'll figure it out, but it's gonna change everything. Hey, Chelsea. Finally caught alive. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for being here. I don't think I've seen you comment on my channel before, but your last name's interesting, familiar. We were about to die. I saw an article on YA News that had a pretty good way of going about it. They stated to keep a month's worth of salary in checking account, the next month's worth in high yield savings, next month's in investments that generate high yields. Savings, checking. So 1 month's in checking, and then once you surpass that, into savings, and then after you surpass that, invest the rest. I mean, that's okay. Yeah, I guess. It would be hard for me to determine what 1 month of salary is, though, since mine's so, it's just all over the place. Justin F says, that's impressive. My car only lasted me 170,000 before I had to buy a new one. I bought this car when it had 72,000 miles on it, and it's at 210 now. Like I said, it has problems, but it's reliable. There are definitely things that need fixed on it. And there are other things that at this point I'm just not going to fix because it's just, you know, so old. I don't know if you guys remember this, but somebody hit me. They backed into me in a parking lot like 3 years ago. So like the hatch is all like crunched in. It still works, but it just looks bad. But I never fixed that just because there's no point. It's just a cosmetic issue. TMUSA says, hi Mark, joined late. Hey, thanks for being here. Also, if you're the person that sent me something, I'm sorry. If you guys have sent me anything to my P.O. box, I've not been down there in like 2 weeks. I'm hoping to try to maybe make some time this coming week to drive to West Virginia and get that. Somebody sent me something that had a tracking number, and I had to pick it up at the window. And when I was down there, the window was closed. So I'm hoping it's still there, and I can pick it up when I'm in town. Jennifer says, how's the court case going? Well, I think I mentioned in the last live stream that the Supreme Court case was dismissed, which was really what I which is really what I had kind of worried. I mean, I knew that that's probably what was going to happen. With the West Virginia Supreme Court, for some reason, oh, whoa, hello. Rowla just sent €5. I will get to your comment. I'm having difficulty getting through the comments because normally I have my laptop sitting beside me and it's easy for me to scroll through the comments. I'm doing this all from my phone, which I'm also filming on. So let me get down to, let me finish answering Jennifer's question, and then I'll skip to Rowla since she sent a super chat, and then I'll get back to everybody else. So essentially, I just thought that probably what would happen is that they would say it's moot. I argued that it was not moot. They said it was anyway, which is pretty much what I thought, which is why I have the other lawsuit filed, because otherwise nothing would ever get done with it. Now, I am a little perturbed, though, because 13 years ago now, West Virginia made... It used to be that you had to file a petition to the Supreme Court and ask for permission to have an appeal to them, and then they would either grant it or deny it. But that's not what happened with mine, because now you have the right to an appeal. So they have to hear every appeal on the merits. But they still didn't do that in my case. The thing that kind of pisses me off about it is I did all that work and spent all that money, and I realized they were probably just going to say it was moot. But what they're supposed to at least do is make a memorandum decision. And even if they don't go into a lot of detail, they usually just say like, hey, we understand this is important to you, but we don't find that it meets this standard that we can still evaluate it because it's moot. In my case, though, what they did is I didn't even get a memorandum decision. They didn't even publish this decision publicly. What they did is they entered a denial order. It literally denied my appeal, which they're not allowed to do. I have the right to have the appeal heard on the merits. So that right was violated, and that's the thing that upsets me. They did cite a more recent case as their case law justification for dismissing mine. And what it was from December of 2022, and I read the case and the memorandum decision, which they did the same thing as they did mine, But there was one of the justices that wrote a dissenting opinion. And in that opinion, they found some real good case law. And they just basically said, like, I don't know what the problem is with the rest of these justices. They're just blatantly going against, like, they're just blatantly going against what the law is. So there's not really much else I can do. There was one thing I could have done, but I had to do it within 30 days, and I didn't. I mean, it was kind of like you could do it, but there really wasn't much hope in anything happening with it. Oh, by the way, this is just Diet Pepsi. Or wait, is this Diet Pepsi? I don't know. It's something diet. But basically, okay. So, and I think I've talked to you guys about this before. I'm not going to seek a writ. Honestly, I've talked about it in previous live streams, and it's not that important. Okay, so apparently, let's see how loud this thing ends up being. Okay, well, if they're getting, I don't know if you guys can hear that. Somebody just started a tractor for some reason over there. So I might have to roll the windows up if it comes over this way. Okay, but anyway, I could try to get a writ of certiorari. It's a long story. There's a slight chance that it could get the underlying restraining order overturned, even though, I mean, the court's opinion is that it doesn't matter, it's expired, but that's not really true because it's still on my background, like, and if it were overturned, it would be removed. That's the issue that I'm having. West Virginia does it differently than other states and then the way the federal level does it. Basically every state, if something is moot when it gets to the Supreme Court, they overturn the underlying order. But West Virginia doesn't do that. So like any other state or on the federal level, they would say, oh yeah, we're removing that restraining order, it's expired. And then it would no longer count against me on like background checks and stuff. If I were to get a writ of certiorari, it's permission from the Supreme Court of West Virginia to appeal to the Supreme Court of the US, which of course, they're not going to hear this case, but if they deny it and say we're not going to hear it, then they overturn the underlying one. But according to the lawyer, who I haven't actually spoken to since December, but like, he just said that it's way too much of a pain in the ass, and just not worth it. So the other thing, and guys, I know your comments are coming in. I'm still answering Jennifer's question about the court cases, and then I'll get to everything else. The other court case is the lawsuit, and basically what's happening with the lawsuit is we have pretty much ended written discovery. There's a couple of things I'm still reviewing. I am pursuing one thing just because I don't think that her attorney answered some stuff properly, so I'm arguing with him about that, about getting the answers. But pretty much that's done. We are moving into depositions, and my first deposition will be, I'm pretty sure, sometime in June. I know who it's going to be. I've called and made the arrangements. I just really have to send out the notice and actually schedule it. But that's going to be moving forward pretty quickly. And I will say it was the end of April, around the end of April. So right before the last live stream, I think, her attorney did start offering ideas of settlement. Like, she wants to settle, so I don't know what's going to end up happening. So yeah, that's pretty much where that's at. My things I'm catching up with are just reviewing a couple of of documents that he sent me, but that's pretty much it. Okay, now I said I'd jump to Rowla because of the super chat. Do you have to pay taxes for your TaskRabbit DoorDash income if you are actively saving? So I'm not saving, and I should be. I'm not able to save for it right now. I do have to pay taxes on them, but really not until I moved to Columbus. So not up until the last 2 or 3 weeks has it been taxable. It is technically taxable, but I was putting so many miles on my car in order to commute to the work site that basically the mileage deduction was taking any profit that I was making. So it's really only now that I don't have much of a mileage deduction compared to the money that I'm bringing in that I'm actually going to owe taxes. So that's kind of a new issue that I haven't figured out yet. I think after I get this couple months of past stuff paid off, I will be able to start doing that, putting a little bit away, just to pay that, basically. But I do still have mileage deductions, because basically from home, which is wherever I slept the night before, to the work site and back, you know, that's a mileage deduction. I just bought an electric screwdriver that I'm actually gonna call them later today and see if I can go pick it up. I don't know if you guys see that. Can you see that? This parking lot that I'm in, it's like a dirt parking lot, and whatever, it's not really sand, but it's even more fine than sand. There's like some sort of particulate that is like really dusty, that is whatever this parking lot's made out of. And somebody just drove by and it like went through this window and like all the way out here. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, we are about to die. The bad thing with old cars is you'd never want anyone to hit you, or you hit them, because then it would be totaled. Right, and then like the price of it you wouldn't be able to replace the car for what you get. Chelsea, how is my last name familiar? LOL. I don't know. I don't know if you're the person that you remind me of or not. Let's just say I know somebody with the same, well, not the same name, but very similar. So, Luca G says, hey, you live in your car now. Yeah. If you want an explanation of that, my last video I put up was also a live stream. It was a story time, talking about my roommate, and that explains why I'm living in my car now. And let's see here. Max says, have you met anyone else who lives in their car? Not really. There was one day that I spent the night up here. I'm at Alum Creek State Park, in Delaware County. And I spent the night up here in this general area. And the next morning I went to the library in Delaware, and there was a guy there. There was a guy in the library who I kind of thought was homeless, but he might have been living in his car, but like I noticed that he was charging this like power bank off the library's electric, and I'm pretty sure he probably like just goes in there during the day and like saves up that power and then runs the stuff from in his car off of it. But I didn't speak to him. I mean, the places I stay, there are obviously people who are living in their cars, and some of them, you know, I've gotten to know like the vehicle. Like I recognize that vehicle because it was there like the week before or something. But nobody stays in the same place every night. You're always trying to move around. So you're trying to make it not obvious that you're doing that. And because of that, I haven't. Yeah, so no, I guess I haven't. Max says, oh, okay, that's the one I just answered. Chelsea says, we told you not to spend your money on the case. I know, but it was the right thing to do. I mean, even though it didn't work out, that was something that I had to pursue. And, like, that's why I have the lawsuit now, is because I knew after filing that this is most likely what was going to happen. So I had to have another avenue to address it as well. And so now, of course, the lawsuit's going on, and then through the process of the lawsuit, I've also found out that after this, there are going to be some criminal charges against her that, through the discovery process, I've found things that she'll be charged with. So even the lawsuit's like not really the end of it. We Are About to Die salute you. I know you're referring to this. You said, where did you get the something diet from? It's just a plain, yeah, it's just a plain cup. It's clear. This is from Panera. I was at IKEA doing some research for work. And there's a Panera across the street from it. So I stopped there. I had a $2 off coupon for a sandwich. And I don't know if you guys know about this. It's another cloud of dust. I don't know if you guys know about this, but Panera has this thing called a value duet. And you get like half a sandwich and a cup of soup and a baguette for like, I think it was like $6 and something. Plus I had that $2 off coupon on it. So yeah, eating pretty cheap. Nikita says, where are you with saving for deposit? So I am just under $500. In April, it went up to like 400 and something, like really quickly. Ever since I moved up here, I've been able to do furniture assembly a lot more. And that's good overall for the financial picture. But the structure that I had set up for saving money was I was doing $1 per delivery to saving for the apartment. And since I've been doing a lot fewer deliveries, I'm at like, I think $490 now, something like that. I really need $1,500, like, because the place that I want to move into, it's like, it's roughly I think it's $700 for the rent, and then a flat fee of $60 for the utilities. So like $760, and then basically what I'm trying to have saved up is the security deposit, which is equal to 1 month rent, and then like the first month rent and utilities to move in, as if I'm moving in on the first of the month and it's not going to be prorated, just like as a worst case scenario kind of thing. Let's see what else. Jennifer says, I'm representing a friend of mine in court in a few weeks. Are you, like, I didn't know you were an attorney. Is that, maybe it works differently there, but I would imagine, because the U.S. court system is based on English common law, so our court system is actually very similar to like the UK, and since that's in Europe, I would assume that's kind of similar to Sweden's, but I mean, I don't know. In the US, you can represent yourself, or you can have an attorney represent you, but you wouldn't be allowed to represent someone else. The only exception is, like, I was able to represent my mom in court as her attorney, but that was just because she had a guardianship and she was declared mentally incompetent. So she wasn't able to act as her own attorney, so I acted as that for her because I'm her only, there's a word for it, I can't remember it, but the only person who has an interest in her estate. Let's see here. You who are about to die salute you. I feel like Dunnan. I don't know how to pronounce that. Should have a C in there somewhere, like Duncan. I'm gonna guess that last name's Irish, but I'm not sure. Luca G says, I see, I thought you already found a place. Well, I do have a place in mind. That's the place, that's how I have that like price set to know what to save for. It's just, until I have the money, I can't really, you know, do anything about it or set a date for moving in. Sandra says, hope you have something to protect you there in public spaces at night. Even when parking in a secured lot, I'd feel nervous of passerbys and strangers. Yeah, so, I mean, this is the main thing. That's it. I just lock myself in the car at night. And right now, I only have something to block the windshield, not the back window. Although, when I'm laying down in the back here, I know you guys can't really see it on camera, but I sleep long ways in the back. Where my head is in a position where the side of the car and the bottom of the hatch door kind of cover it up. Like, you'd have to actually look in from a weird angle to see my head. And then the rest of me is covered in blankets. And it's not that obvious, I think, that there's like a body under the blankets. Now, sometimes, you guys can probably see this. I have my towel hanging here to dry from where I took a shower at the gym this morning. But I hang that, and sometimes, like, for example, a DoorDash pizza bag, I'll put those where they partially cover the windows, or I'll hang a jacket on the back of the seat, and that covers a little bit of the window as well. You know, it doesn't do a great job, but that's really the only thing. And I mean, and I park in public places. I kind of either want to be in a really public place, like a truck stop where I'm parked all along with like other cars, or I want to be somewhere out in the woods, where there's just like no one around. But I haven't been able to find that kind of place here in Columbus. Even here, I mean, I'm at a state park, kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and there's like, I don't know, like 30 other cars around me. So you can't really get away from people in Columbus, even when you go out to like the metro parks. Chelsea says, do you feel homeless? I heard homelessness changes your psyche. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to answer because it's not the first time I've been homeless. And in fact, I mean, I was homeless before I had the place that I just moved out of. I mean, it's not something that you want to be, but at the same time, it's not as bad as people make it out to be. I mean, I guess in the ways that I feel homeless, or maybe it's not even feeling homeless, it's just like feeling not enough, I guess, is like, I do struggle, you know, in the morning to get myself to the gym to shower. I've only skipped a couple of days, but I hate that I like have to fight with myself in the morning to like go do that, because I don't like to have to go someplace to shower. I have to find a place about once a week to shave, which that's kind of a pain in the ass. I could shave at the gym, but you look weird. It's weird to shave at the gym. I don't know. The only other thing is like when I'm hot spotting late at night, sometimes I have to go sit in a 24-hour restaurant for a couple hours with my laptop, and I mean, I figure they know I live in my car outside, but like, nobody really cares. So I don't really know. I don't know if I feel homeless or not. I mean, I just kind of think of it as it's more logistical stuff. I got to figure out where I'm sleeping tonight, where am I showering the next day, where am I going to make food, And a lot of it is being based on where I'm working the next day for TaskRabbit. It's like, am I going to be on the north side or the east side or the south side? And then I base all of that other stuff based on that. Jennifer says, how do you have internet? Well, I have unlimited data on my phone. I've had that for a number of years. And right now I'm streaming on my phone. I do go to the libraries. I was just at Panera, so there's Wi-Fi there. Some of the other places I sleep are outside of businesses, and I can get on their Wi-Fi by just parking next to the building. And then when I go back to Athens, because I've been going back about like once a week or so, because I'm doing like a boot camp thing there that doesn't finish up until the end of June. I'm able to get like into the university buildings and use the Wi-Fi there. Rala says, how do you know the place you want will be free until you have the deposit? Well, because of a couple of things. So it's not like there's just one apartment. It's an apartment complex with about 20 apartments. And they're all slightly different, but they're all around the same price and all around the same square footage. It's a building that they just renovated, and kind of the area is really bad. Like, it's real bad. They're just doing like first wave gentrification of it. So what they're charging is actually really high rent, but the reason that it's affordable to me is that the square footage is so low. So like they're charging, it's less than 300 square feet, and they're charging like 700 and something a month for it. So per square footage, that's really expensive. But it's just the combination, like it's basically the combination of I can get into a place and it's a really nice brand new place, and also like because the neighborhood it's in, there's not like a rush of people trying to get in there. Let's see here. Oh, Jennifer says, I'm not an attorney, but in civil cases I can represent. Okay. Okay, that's just different there than it is here then. I honestly, it's hard enough to understand American law. I'm bouncing back and forth between West Virginia and Ohio, and they're based off the English common law system, but West Virginia is based on actual English law because it broke away from Virginia, and Virginia's courts were part of the English court until the Revolution. So it's set up like one certain way, and then you come over to Ohio and it's a completely different system that was established after America became a country. I mean, the laws, the way the courts are structured, everything's completely different. So I'm already learning like two different ways. There's no way I think that I could understand like two different countries' systems. Lucas says, so DoorDash is your only job, or is just start to find a good one? Well, I'm not even doing DoorDash all that much anymore. I got deactivated on Uber Eats, which if I have a chance, I might make a video about. So I'm not doing that anymore. I've been waitlisted on Grubhub for over a year. So I have DoorDash. I do Instacart occasionally. There's some other apps that I probably need to sign up for now that I live in the area that they actually service. But I'm trying not to do anything involving my car at all, because I'm basically, any work I can get that doesn't involve me driving around is going to be more profitable. And that's what I like about the furniture assembly, is I just drive to the job site and then I stay there for hours and I do that. It pays more hourly, plus I don't have the car expenses. The big thing is I can't get a regular job right now because of my lawsuit. There are deadlines, there's court hearings that pop up at random times that are scheduled by the other side. So I'm not able, Like, basically no job is willing to work with me. In fact, I don't even think I can get a job, because about 3 weeks ago, I saw that this pizza place here in town was hiring. It was when I first moved back here, and I applied. I came in, they interviewed me, I filled out the application. They told me they would call me last week to start. Nothing. Now, by the time they were supposed to call me, I'd already started getting a lot of work with TaskRabbit, so it was kind of iffy if I was going to start. But I tried to get a local job, and I really think it's my background, because that's actually kind of how I got deactivated from Uber Eats, is because of the damn restraining order, because it shows up on my background, and I not only can't get approved for anything, but it's because I like, even something like Uber Eats that I've been doing for years, now I'm getting deactivated when they do the routine background checks. Justin says, I would expect living in your car is a much different feeling than literally sleeping on the streets with nothing around you. Yeah, I think so. That's why if something happened in my car, it would be very different, because transportation would be a nightmare. Plus, just like I have a system of places I can stay at night and places I can go shower and things like that, I'd have to come up with also a system of where I could go stay and not be bothered. Where We Who Are About to Die Salute You says, where do you find is the best place to shave? Well, the last place that I shaved was in Cantner Hall at OU. I was in Athens for a class that I took Saturday morning, this past Saturday. And is that right? Was it Saturday? No, it was like Tuesday or Wednesday. Whatever the last time was I went to Athens. No, it wasn't a class. I had a job down there. There was an old lady I built a bunch of furniture for. So I went to Athens, special trip, because she was paying me so much. It was worth it. So I went down there, I built the stuff. It was so much I had to come back the next day and finish it. So I stayed the night in Athens. After I built her stuff the second day, then I went to the university, and I went to a building that I thought would be open. It's usually open and unlocked, and it was. And I waited until after people left the offices for the day, and then I went to this like they call it a single user restroom in the basement, so it has a door that locks, and I shaved in there. But I can also get a shower at the truck stop. It's $16, but if I get a truck stop shower, I have exclusive use of that room, and I can stay in there as long as I need to, and I can shave there. Lucas says, do you feel like alone in your solitude? I don't know how to answer that. Because the thing is, I'm constantly around people. Like, I'm talking to you guys right now. There's 30 people on the live stream. I'm parked here in a park in the middle of nowhere, but there's like 20 or 30 cars around me. When I sleep in the parking lots at night, whether you call that urban stealth camping or whatever, there's a line of people doing the same thing. Even though I don't have any like solid connections to anyone, I'm never alone. Like, there's always people all around me all the time. It would actually be really nice if I could just, so like I see all these van lifers and stuff in YouTube, and they camp, they'll drive out of town and they'll stay in their rig for like a week and not talk to anyone. And that might be nice sometimes, but I can't really do that where I am, because every place that I've looked into here, every park doesn't allow overnight camping or sleeping in your car. And where there is a campground, you have to pay for it. And it doesn't make sense, because even if it's like $30 a night, that's huge for like rent. So that's like way more than paying the rent on an apartment if you're spending $30 a night to live in your car. So let's see, Sue. Sorry, I'm getting behind on comments again, guys. I meant to say this at the beginning of the stream. I'm probably gonna be like pretty frazzled today. I honestly forgot that we had a live stream today. I literally, after I got food, I got on the road and I was like, huh, all right, well, libraries are closed. Wonder what I'm gonna do today. This is at like 12:30 today, and I'm just like, oh yeah. God, I was like gonna miss my own live stream. So that tells you exactly where my mind's at right now. Let's see. Oh, Luca, I don't think I answered the rest of your question about the do you feel alone in your solitude? So I don't really feel like I'm ever alone, because there's always people around. I would like to sometimes be alone, but it doesn't seem that's able to be done. Because if you've noticed, all these van life people, they're out west. And even the public lands here that's owned by the state, they just don't allow stuff like that, like they do out west. So I can't ever like get away. It doesn't feel lonely though. I mean, I thought from time to time, it's like, hey, I mean, it would be cool, you know, if I had somebody to go get lunch with or something. But at the same time, I'm like, how the hell would I make that work? I don't have the time. I literally don't. And I don't think anybody's willing to work around my chaotic schedule. So that actually goes into the next comment. Chelsea says, when was the last time you went on a proper date? Well, let's see. When? I guess that depends on your definition of proper date. I'm actually trying to think. It probably would have been sometime in 2021 with the girl, before she got sick and went to the hospital. I mean, I'm in no shape to date. I mean, either situationally with the whole like car thing, but also like kind of being rough around the edges from being homeless. But like, you know, relationship wise, emotional availability wise, I'm not. I'm also like, I don't even know how I'd make time for somebody. I don't know. So, but I mean, to answer your question, it's been like 2 years, I think, since I've been on like a real date. I'm pretty sure that's right. Justin says, I've never paid $750 in rent in my life. I used to live in California and they charge $2,500 for 760. Yeah, I mean, well, and you got to understand, Columbus is one of the biggest cities in the country, so our rent compared to like LA or New York is pretty reasonable, but it is very high compared to the rest of the country. I mean, I'm not getting like a $2,500 studio downtown. Like, there's a lot of those, but I'm not doing that. I'm living in a terrible neighborhood in a building that was just remodeled to be really nice inside. So the neighborhood brings the cost down, plus the fact that it's super small also brings the cost down to a place that I can kind of afford it. Jennifer says, have you heard anything from your previous roommates? Could you sue him for some money? Well, I haven't heard anything. The only thing that I heard was when I was in Athens last, which I think was Wednesday. I had to stop at the police department because they wanted to serve me with a copy of the paperwork for all of this. And they had called me and asked me to stop by when I was in town. And when I got there, they didn't have it for me because they said they had to what's the word? They had to redo it, so they didn't have a copy of the new one. But they told me that my roommate had violated the protection order because he was supposed to turn over the keys to the place and he didn't do it. And then he moved back in. And even though I wasn't living there anymore, he wasn't allowed to be there. So he got arrested again for violating that. But I don't really know anything other than that. I don't really know. Yeah, I mean, it's really the best way I could put it. I just don't really know. Haven't heard from him. I did see him once in traffic, but let's see. All right, I'm scrolling through comments here. Okay, so the other half of that question from Jennifer is, could you sue him for some money? I don't think I could. I mean, he scammed me out of a lot of money. But there's not really a lot of paper trail to prove that. And then it's kind of like, I had a lease with him, but then he tried to claim that I didn't have a lease, and that's why I needed to get out, even though I did. So I moved out, but he was also trying to throw me out. And I'm sure I don't even know what I would sue him for. If I tried to sue him, he would try to countersue, but I don't know what he'd even countersue for, because he could say I owe him money, but I really don't, because if you balance out the amount of money that he scammed out of me is far more than what I owe him, is what I'm saying. And so I don't think that there is, because I'm trying to think of like torts, and I don't think there's anything in tort law that I could sue for. And then thinking of like contract law, his lease was just not enforceable. So there's no way that he could enforce that, and there's no way for me to enforce it. I mean, there's nothing in it for me to enforce. So I don't think there's any way of doing that. Well-behaved wallet. Hello, Mark. Sorry to hear that you're technically homeless, but I gotta say, you do sound in good spirits, and you're looking better than you have in a while. Well, I appreciate getting an outside perspective on that, because I am not feeling that great. Well, part of it is my hair is ridiculous, and I need my haircut. That's a project that's going to happen in June. I've also gained some weight. Well, what it is, and I've got a solution to this lined up already, but I've gained some weight because I've been eating out every meal, because I don't have access to a kitchen anymore. Now, when I'm in Athens, I do have access to a kitchen, but then when I'm in Athens, I don't have access to work to do, so I can't make money. But I do have a solution for this up in Columbus. It's something that I'll probably have to just talk to you guys about next month, but I've already got it figured out. I've got one massive bill payment that's coming out tomorrow that I'm amassing all of my money in order to clear that payment. But then after that, well, and then probably after my cell phone bill is due on the 3rd, then I'll have the money to do this, and that'll give me access 24/7 to a kitchen I can use. And then that way I can just grab something from the grocery store and take it there and make it and not eat out every meal. It'll save me a lot of money, but also keep me from getting fat. But I appreciate you saying that. Honestly, I'm still really messed up from all of this relationship stuff and the lawsuit stuff. I think the more that I get caught up on the lawsuit stuff, like the happier I am. And those two things are intertwined, relationship and lawsuit stuff. But as I move forward with that, the more answers I get, the more sense things make, and the closer that I get to some kind of resolution with her, whatever that's going to be. Like I mentioned earlier, they're starting to talk about settling, so I'm not sure what she'll come up with, but I mean, things are bad right now, but there is also some sort of like sense of relief about some things too. So I'm glad you're picking up on that. Well Behaved Wallet says, here's a question. What's your ideal job? In 5 years, if things go according to plan, what's your vision for yourself? Well, let's look at that question just from the job perspective, because if we're looking at like every aspect of life, that's a whole lot to even talk about, let alone figure out right now. But if we're looking just at jobs, I have worked since I was 15 or 14, I think 15. Anyway, I'm 37. I am tired. I am ready to retire. I've never got to do anything or enjoy my life, and I want to do that. Basically, unless some huge, amazing opportunity presents itself, I'm probably not going to go back to the corporate world or the startup world. I've been self-employed since COVID, and I'm making it. It's been pretty ugly, but I'm making it, and it's getting easier as it goes. So in 5 years from now, I would like to have the furniture assembly business full-fledged with employees, scaled it up to different locations across the state, maybe across the country, but at least across the state and major cities. I will take a salary from that as being the owner or some sort of chief executive of that, and then but I'll probably have like general managers that actually run it. I want to make YouTube videos. That's what I wanted to do for a long time, and I'll finally have time to focus on that once I have the income coming in from the other thing. And then my goal since 2010 has been to own rental properties, and I want to do that. And again, eventually, after I do the first couple myself, I'll probably hire a manager to take care of that stuff for me. But yeah, I'm not trying to be a billionaire. I just want to have enough money to survive without worrying about it. And then on top of that, I'd like to have some money to, do some stuff with. I need to catch up on retirement and things like that. But I also just would like to go like travel and do all the things I've never been able to do. So I guess those three things are it. I'm not looking at anything huge. I'm not trying to get back into the workforce. Pretty jaded on all that, and I've just decided I'm just going to do it all on my own. So yeah, apartments, expanding the business that I've got now, and doing YouTube or whatever, who knows if YouTube will be around in 5 years, but whatever social platform it is at that time. God, I hope not TikTok. I don't mind watching TikTok for stuff, but I don't want to learn how to make the short form videos. That's why I don't do shorts on here. Okay, so let's see. Jennifer says, do you watch Caleb Hammer? He does financial audits on people. No, I don't. I mean, I think if anybody were to do that in my situation, I would just have to tell them that they're wrong. Like, if they looked at my situation and told me changes that need to be made, I would just have to say, like, you don't understand how to live a life the way I have to in order to survive. And like, what you're asking is not feasible. And I say that because, like, I have all these payments I've got to make for different things, and I have to go make the money to do that. And I can't just choose to, you know, just go out and get a certain kind of job. Like, I have these restrictions as to why I'm not doing that. And I feel like there's nothing those people could tell me other than, like, doing a different type of work, or you know, criticizing me spending money on a certain thing. Like, he would probably go after my food budget and be like, you're spending way too much on food. Well, yeah, I spend way too much on food because I have to eat out every meal because I live in my car. Like, I don't have a kitchen in my car, you know. And that's what I'm saying, is I don't think people could understand that. It doesn't matter how much of a financial expert you are. If you don't know how to be homeless, you can't tell someone how to do that better. Let's see. Then, okay. Yeah, then Well-Behaved Wallet's talking about Caleb Hammer. We were about to die, salute you. Do university halls not have ID screens that do not let you in unless you have student ID? It depends on the university you're at. When I go to Athens, I'm at Ohio University, and they do have those on the doors, but generally, most of the time, especially during the daytime, the doors are usually locked, or they're usually unlocked. There's one academic hall that I sometimes go into and steal a boardroom late at night after the janitors have left. And I know that the doors lock remotely at midnight, so I just have to be in there before that. The janitors usually leave at 11, and then I watch them leave, and then I go in, and then I go and sit in the boardroom, and I set up everything, and I work on my laptop, use the Wi-Fi, use their kitchen. Oh, I have actually shaved in there too. I've actually shaved in the dean's office. But like, I clean up after myself. I make sure that nobody knows I was there. I mean, there are cameras in the building, but they don't monitor them. They would only like go check them if they had a reason to. So I make sure that nobody ever suspects that anyone was there. And yeah. So, I mean, it depends. Ohio University is super laid back. When I was a student there, they didn't even lock the doors. Like, the academic buildings were just open 24/7. So the fact that they even have the locks on the doors is a new thing. So yeah, they're super not enforced. But I've been to other places like OWU, Ohio Wesleyan University, that are like a lot less welcoming. Like, I think it was last week, I went to the library at OWU, and I got all set up, and then I realized they don't even have guest Wi-Fi. I'm like set up in their library, nobody said a word to me, and I go to like log on, and like, there's nothing. Like, you have to be a registered student. Like, what the hell is this? I'm just used to colleges that are like very open to the community. You're welcome, Luca. Okay, well-behaved wallet. What's this boot camp you're taking? Tell us more. All right, give me a second. With all this dust, I'm like, oh, I don't know. Something weird's going on with my voice. All right, let me dig it out here and I'll just show you. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. It is Southeast Ohio Community, that's actually not what they call it. It's Southeast Ohio Community Entrepreneurship Boot Camp is what they've been calling it. This is what I've been working on. It's a collaboration between the University of Notre Dame and Ohio University, and it's the Center for Entrepreneurship, as well as the College of Business. I don't know if you guys can see this. This is my name tag for that, College of Business. And basically what it is this is for people who live in impoverished communities, or are in bad economic circumstances that want to start their own businesses or have started their own businesses, but are having trouble because they're poor and they need access to capital in order to advance those businesses. And basically at the end of this boot camp, so there's like this whole thing here. Basically at the end of this boot camp, they are going to give us access to micro grants and zero interest loans. Now, mostly I'm going to use that for tools, maybe a couple other things here and there. I don't know how much we're allowed to access, but I am 100% not opposed to taking like a $50,000 zero interest loan and using it to buy a very nice van for my business, like a Ford Transit Connect or like a Dodge Ram ProMaster City, something that's like a work van that I would also happen to sleep in the back of. But you know, we'll see. We'll see what I can get. I mean, even if they buy me a few tools, I'd be happy with that. I cannot wait for my electric screwdriver to get here tomorrow because my wrist is all messed up from work this week. So I'm happy that's not going to be a thing anymore. All right, so let's go back here. So that's the boot camp. Let's see here. Jay says, are you happy with your life since graduating college? Let me think about that for a second so I can give you like a real answer. I mean, I gotta say no, but here's why that's like a complicated answer. I graduated college in August of 2012, and I met the girl in October of 2012. So my entire post-college life has been basically involving her. Still is, right? Because we got the lawsuit going on. I don't know if the problems that I've had and like all the struggle that I've been through and stuff, I don't know if that's something that just happened or if it happened because of her involvement and the way that she complicated things. I mean, maybe it's just a mixture of the two. I'm not sure. So, I mean, as things stand now, like, no, I'm not happy with how my life has gone after college. I have a suspicion that some of the problems, at least, have been kind of because of her. I mean, I don't want to blame her for everything, but I can think of some examples. And I think that... I don't know. I mean, the answer to your question is no, I'm not happy. But looking at why I'm not happy, and has it just happened naturally, or is it because of something, that's something that I'd have to think more about. Um, Well-Behaved Wallet says, no dating, not yet. Keep working on yourself. You've been going to counseling and it's clear you're working on yourself. Keep going, you're almost there. Thank you for, thank you for seeing that, because honestly, I must be the worst person at noticing things about myself, because you guys always seem to get this. Like, you see from one month to the next month's live stream changes in me that I don't see in myself at all. So if you guys are seeing progress, that's great. I'm not feeling it, but if you guys can see it, then I'll have to believe you that it's there. I think you're right. I mean, I'm not trying to date. I'm not saying, like, if I happen to meet somebody that I wouldn't, but I'm not trying to, and I'm not, like, seeking anyone out. And like I kind of said earlier, even if I did, I don't know how I would fit them in my life. I've got a lot of work to do on myself, because, to be honest, I mean, it's not like a popular opinion, but let's be honest here. Like, I need to somewhat have my life together to be dating somebody. Like, I need to probably not be living in my car. I need to pretty much have a more stable income than I do, and probably not be fighting with my ex in court as much. I mean, I think that's fair to say that that's a pretty good start on being more ready for dating. So yeah, those aren't the only things, but, like, I need to get myself to, like, a minimum acceptable level, I think. Also, probably losing the probably 10 pounds I put on in the last month from eating fast food every day. Um, get that back off. But in general, that's something for the future. I'm not even thinking about that now. Let's see. Oh, okay. And Chelsea says, I've been watching your videos at night on repeat to try and get you more AdSense. I mean, I really appreciate that. As my life clears up, I will be spending more on YouTube, making content, answering comments, like I'm supposed to be doing, and running this channel that I've just had to throw to the side with all the trauma and drama and everything else going on in my life the last couple years. I will focus more on that. I appreciate you doing that. That is great. That's a great way, I guess, actually a way that you can support the channel without actually having to pay anything, is just playing the ads in the videos. So I appreciate that. Sandra says, on a more lighthearted note, would be nice to know what's everyone's ideal van or car meal to have when on the road. Ooh. Okay, I don't know if anybody answered that down below. Let me think about what my answer to that would be. Okay, I actually don't know, but I will tell you, it's not so much of a treat now because they started moving into our area, but it used to be when I would go on road trips, we would go to these gas stations, truck stop kind of places called Loves, and they would be like along the highway, and they have beef jerky. Now, I like beef jerky, but they have like a particular kind that is like extremely dry. Like it's almost like bacon that, like, if you lay it out and let it cool after it cooks, you know how like it kind of like is kind of beyond crispy. Well, whatever seasoning they use on that, I love that. And so it used to be whenever we would go somewhere, we would scout out, see a Love's, and we'd pull over and get that beef jerky. I haven't done that for a long time. There are a few of those up here in Columbus, so I might have to do that. Jay says, have you thought about going to stay at a homeless shelter? No, I don't even know. I mean, I'm sure there are some, but I don't have a reason to. I mean, being at a homeless shelter is because you don't have a place to go, and I do. I mean, I have my car, so there's not a reason for me to do that. Well-Behaved Wallet says, ah, yes, and that's a great vision for yourself. Furniture assembly, you're good at it and it's in demand. And scale that up. Yep, rental properties and YouTube. Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm not trying to be greedy, so I don't think I need more than 3 income streams. I mean, sure, you know, eventually have more investments and stuff like that, but furniture assembly pays good money. It is certainly in demand in the Columbus area, especially during the summer. I'm making pretty immediate money doing that. That allows me to stop driving for Uber and DoorDash and barely scraping out a profit doing that. So it helps with deferring and delaying car expenses, things like that. And also, it lets me get some of this past debt paid off just so that everything's paid current. It finances my lawsuit too. And then, and I do want to scale it up. What I'm probably going to do is when demand gets to the point where I can't meet all of it, I'll bring somebody else on. Just as like a here and there kind of thing. Maybe eventually hire them on as an employee. And then I want to do this in more than one metro area. Like maybe we go to Cincinnati next or Cleveland. Just kind of like that. And, you know, I'll see as I go. And then, what is... Oh yeah, and then rental properties. That one obviously is a long way off just because of the capital to get into it. But once I get my finances together, I would be eligible for an FHA loan, which is either 0 or very, very low interest. And I would like to buy a quadplex and then house hack, so that I could have that passive income stream coming in. And then yeah, YouTube. If I get everything else out of the way, I just want to do YouTube. Like, I want to make content. I want to do this. And, I mean, as the channel grows, it'll make more money. But as my other stuff grows, it almost won't even make a difference. Like, it won't matter whether I make money on YouTube. It might be just something extra, but it'd just be something I do because I want to, not because I, like, desperately need the money or anything. And Justin says, I think you and Caleb would make an interesting dialogue at the very least. He'll give your channel a shout out. Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, I don't know anything about this guy or what his channel's about, but if you want to contact him or leave a comment on his channel and mention me, you know, see if he reaches out to me. Like, they've got a thing now with live streams on YouTube where you can collaborate on a live stream. So it can be like 2 creators going in together and doing it. So maybe we could do something like that. I mean, I'm not opposed to that. Neolithic says, hi Mark, I couldn't get here for the start. Will this be saved? It will be. What normally happens is that an hour or 2 after the live stream ends, it'll be available. Like, it takes a while for YouTube to process it. But I have also noticed, like, the last, I don't know, a few months, that sometimes it's available right away, right after the stream ends. But yeah, it'll be up there. Oh, Well-Behaved Wallet answered Sandra's question from earlier. Favorite meal on the road, mine is Subway, Veggie Delight with mustard and mayo. Oh, okay. This goes out to Well-Behaved Wallet and really everyone. Okay, I don't know if this is a secret menu thing or something I accidentally created, but did you know Subway has breakfast tacos? And they're available all day. So I'm going to tell you how to make this because they're amazing. So Subway has their breakfast menu all day. The only thing you got to watch out for is sometimes they run out of egg. But just go in, ask them if they have egg. If they have egg, you're good. So tell them that you want the breakfast steak, egg, and cheese. Have them put it on the flatbread. Okay, and remember at the end to have them cut it in half. Then you're gonna have your steak and egg in there, and then I add onions and green peppers, and then the Southwest Chipotle sauce, and have them toasted, of course. So you're using it on the flatbread, you cut it in half, so it's like you get 2 giant breakfast tacos. I used to do that all the time when I worked at Candid. Well-Behaved Wallet says, Mark, yes, the entrepreneur program is a great thing. So glad you have the support. Do they have mentorship? Get yourself a good mentor and do whatever they tell you. So I don't think it's, yeah, it's not on there. They do. That's actually part of the program. Basically you get, you have a one-on-one mentorship with like business leaders in the community, and we haven't been assigned who we're partnering with right now, but and with the faculty of the College of Business. So this is all, like, I got a scholarship for this. This costs money, but I got a scholarship because I'm poor. And because of it being like an actual class, like through the university, you get access to the faculty members, and, you know, now you can say like, oh, you're a graduate of the program, so then you get the continuing support that the college gives you. And that would be through like the business center. The university also runs the small business development center, which also gives out like grants and loans and helps you through the process of like filing as an LLC and the legal part of it and all of that. And yeah, but I mean, I do need to find a mentor. The biggest thing is my life and my situations I find myself in are so unique that, like, when I stop and I try to find a mentor for something, no one's ever been through what I've been through. And like with this thing, with building a furniture assembly business, I've looked on YouTube, I'm just Googling stuff. I can find hardly anything that applies to my situation. And if me Googling something is not even coming up results, I mean, that shows you how rare it is. So maybe I'll find somebody, maybe not, I don't know. But I mean, even if I don't find one individual person, those resources like the Small Business Development Center that can at least like show me how to do some of the, I don't know, like some of the underlying like legal stuff should help. Lucas says, thank you for the streams. It's nice to hear from you. Yeah, I mean, that's something else I want to address with you guys is, I know I asked you guys what video you wanted for May, and then I didn't make a video. And the reason for that is because I said that before I got kicked out and before I was homeless. And then, like, mid-month, I was like, well, I'm homeless, but I'm still going to make that video. But then I've been working so much, which is not a bad thing, but I've been working so much that it's like, I didn't have time to make the video. But as more of the lawsuit stuff is clearing up for now, because honestly, like, it's way easier to conduct a deposition than it is to, like, write ridiculously long motions for court. It's gonna be a lot easier, and I'm gonna have a lot more free time. So I'm going to I'm gonna have a little more time to work on the videos. So the video that you guys requested for May, which was on the poll in my community tab, I'll just be making that sometime in June. So that's the plan. What else do we have here? Jay says, do you have family like cousins, aunts, uncles, or grandparents you can stay with? Nope, I have absolutely no one. Everyone in my family is, well, dead mostly or terrible. So yeah, they're either dead or I can't have anything to do with them because they're just awful people who try to use me. And I mean, to be fair, guys, I mean, I know that sounds harsh, but I've had to come to terms with that, and it's not even my choice that I'm not in people's lives. My dad disowned me, my mom disowned me, both because I wouldn't let them be horrible to me. There is my step family, but I don't want anything to do with them, and they are not good people. They're like kind of like the Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia, if you guys have seen that. That kind of describes them. I don't want anything to do with any of that. But I mean, I was an only child, and my parents were old when they had me. So, like, everyone in my family is dead. So I don't have that kind of resource. Sandra says, oh, she's talking to Well-Behaved Wallet. Pre-packed rice dishes. Well-Behaved Wallet says, completely my opinion. I think the girl was sent to help you make peace with your past. She's been in your life since you graduated college. LOL, and now you've graduated her. Well, it's tough, you know, because I see what you're saying of like, I've outgrown her kind of thing. And that might be true, but I hate that. I don't know why she chooses to just stay where she is and not ever learn or grow or, you know, become more mature or learn relationship skills. It really sucks because I really wanted and needed her to do that. You know, you need to. If you're in a relationship with someone for that many years, there are times where it is serious and you need that person, that other half of the relationship, to step up and do something that maybe isn't easy, you know? When there's a problem or when you have a disagreement, you have to have an uncomfortable conversation and not just run away. And, you know, unfortunately, she's 33, she's almost 34, and she's just not growing like that. And it just sucks because when we met, she was 23 and I was 27. And at 23, and she was a pretty sheltered 23, to be fair, she was fine, basically. But as she got older and we matured and our relationship became more serious, she just wasn't meeting the challenges that just come up, right? Like, you just have fights and you have big things that you get through as a couple. And they would come up and she just either didn't deal with them or I don't know. And I'm not blaming her at all. It's just, at first there weren't problems, and then it got to the point where she should be learning along the way how to better deal with these problems, and she was just never learning. So I don't know. I guess I could probably talk in circles about that forever. I don't even really know what I'm trying to say there, but it's really sad. It's really sad that she couldn't grow with me and continue, you know, us challenging each other. She just kind of wants to stay where she is and never like mature past that. Okay. Neolithic, would you ever get a tattoo? If so, what would you get and where? I'm not opposed to it. I don't have any. I have no idea where I would get it. I have no idea what I'd get. that is also one of the things that would hold me back from it, is just, I've seen so much change in my life that I don't know what I would have that I would be okay with being permanent. And the only thing I really could think about is, you know, something like, you know, maybe related to the girl, but then you guys see how that ended up. That's probably the only time I would have considered something like that, was having something with her. You know, maybe not like her name, but just like, you know, something we shared together. I would have been okay with that. But, you know, even when I finally got to a point where I thought, like, okay, this seems like it's going to be forever, then that wasn't either. So, I don't know. I don't have any ideas of anything I'd get. But like I said, the one thing that would hold me back would be, it would have to be something that I would be fine with always having. And just my past and how much change has happened has shown me that I can't imagine anything that would be permanent like that. TMUSA says, I haven't been listening the entire time, ran an errand, so sorry if I already asked. Do you ever get a hotel room or plan at times for a break? So I have not gotten a hotel room. I could get the money together to get a hotel room, especially now that I'm not paying rent and utilities, so things are a little bit easier. The issue right now would be the deposit, because my credit cards are maxed out. Now I'm working on that. Actually, that's the big payment that comes out tomorrow. I made an arrangement with Capital One to get that back on track, and the first of the 3 payments of the payment agreement comes out tomorrow. So I am making progress on the back end, but it's slow. So right now I wouldn't be able to get a hotel room just because I don't have the credit on the credit card to be able to put the deposit down for it. What I've been doing is not so much getting a break now. Well, I've only done this once, but the first week I really needed to shave, and like I said, it's like weird trying to find a place to do that. So I went to a truck stop and I got a shower there. It's $16, but you get the room for as long as you want. There's a full shower, full bathroom, and yeah, there's places I can charge my phone and stuff, but basically I was in there forever, and I did everything. I shaved, I think I cut my fingernails and toenails, I cut my nose hair, like all these little like grooming things that are really hard to do in your car. And I plan to do that from time to time. Like, I'm not going to keep up on that kind of stuff as well as I should, just because it's like basically impossible without a bathroom, but I am going to like not be like full homeless. Like I went to the laundromat last week, right? Like, I'm washing my clothes. It's just more logistically difficult with the way things are. TMUSA says, I understand your situation. My parents were old when I was born, and I don't have cousins my age. Never had that bond with them like other people do. Yeah, for me, I mean, it's like 2 things. My mom was 36 when she had me. So if you assume like she could have had me at 18, then she literally could be my grandmother. My dad was, I think, 33. So my mom was born in 1949, and I didn't have any first cousins my age, but I did have some second cousins. But my mom always kept me at a distance from my family for, I have no idea why. She was close with her family, but then she kind of like distanced me, so I never really got to know those cousins all that well. I mean, we're like friends on Facebook, but that's about it. And then my dad, he was also an only child. So there were no like cousins my age on that side at all. And my dad kind of had the same situation. Like his whole family died when he was like in his 20s. So because by the time he graduated college, both of his parents were dead. His grandmother had just died. That was his last grandparent. And then he also had no cousins that were his age. So it's like kind of a generational thing. So I'm really just out here on my own. That's something my therapist brings up. She has told me she's never seen somebody who has had to do everything on their own their whole life with no support structure and no family. So, you know, at least I can get some perspective from her that the struggle that I've had in doing that is actually a struggle. It's not just me feeling like I'm a victim. Like, it is actually more than what most people have to deal with. I mean, as I get my life together, I would like to make some connections with people, whether it be a good, small, close circle of friends, and, you know, eventually, you know, maybe eventually dating someone. That's a whole, like, other thing. But, because when I met her, I was 27. I'm 37 now, so that's a whole different realm of dating. I'm not sure there's anybody still single out there that I'd be interested in, so I don't know. But yeah, that's basically where I'm thinking about all that stuff. So we've still got 23 people on here. We are almost 2 hours in. I guess you guys are just bored on Memorial Day. I didn't realize everything was going to be closed today. But yeah, let me know if you have any like other questions. If not, we'll probably end this here fairly soon. I'm busy with this boot camp until the end of June, but then they continue the mentorship after that and the grants and stuff. I'm gonna work as much as I possibly can, both to finance a lawsuit, but also to pay off all this stuff here. I mean, I'm still early July gonna make that video for you guys, updating you, a 6-month update on the financial goals, and that's what this whole paper here, paying this stuff off, is looking toward. I mean, it's working toward that goal, is getting stuff further caught up. And then from the feedback I got here, and anybody watching this later, I would like to still get your feedback. If you'd be interested in the vlog of just like the day-to-day life of what I do living in my car, I will probably go ahead and start making those. I'm gonna say probably, well, maybe today, we'll see. But those won't be released until probably my lifestyle changes, and I'm hoping that's going to be in like August, September, something like that, but we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen. So that's the plan. I will make that video that I promised you for May. We'll just do it in June. I will have to wait until the library reopens, but I can sit in my car at night and edit, so that's not a problem. That gives me something to do, actually, after everything closes. And we should be able to get a video up talking about that investment that I made, tell you guys all about that. And at some point during June, I'm getting my hair cut. My birthday is June 5th, so I think that's a Monday or a Tuesday. It's coming up soon. And I haven't really made any plans other than I'm taking the day off. I'm gonna try to go for a walk or something out in the forest. Maybe either get myself a nice dinner or wait till I go back to Athens. My favorite restaurant's there, so I might do that. Yeah, Justin. Yeah, I'll be 38. Damn. Yeah, the last 10 years have just kind of like not existed, to be honest. So yeah, pulling myself out of this. Oh, thanks, Justin. Yeah, pulling myself out of this whole thing. It's not just pulling myself out of a relationship. It's sort of coming out of some kind of fog that I've been in the last 10 years, and for the first time literally ever living my life, because I was in college. Well, I was in school literally 2 years of preschool, kindergarten, and then 12 years through school, graduating high school, and then 9 years of college. And then that's where, like, things just, you know, you don't have a path after that, right? Like, after that, it's just kind of like there's no guidelines. You just do whatever you want. There's no way to tell whether you're successful. And then, like, right when I was struggling with all of that, she came into the picture. And I never really resolved trying to figure all that out. And then she's there. And then, honestly, like, I'm not saying I based stuff around the relationship, because I don't think I did. But we had so many ups and downs that the good times were good, and then when times were bad, it was me being upset and me trying to figure out how to make them good again. And that's what all my time and energy went into. So I wish they hadn't been like that. But because they were, I just never really got to figure out what I was doing. I never got to work on my own stuff. I was always focused on, not really focused on her, but focused on the relationship. So I got to figure out how to be me. I don't know how to do that, but that's what I got to figure out how to do here pretty soon. So anyway, guys, I don't see any more comments coming in, so I am going to go ahead and end it here. While I'm at the park, I'm going to go find something to do. I can't hike because I got fairly new shoes and I don't want to mess them up. But maybe I'll find a paved path somewhere I can walk around. And sometime during the month, I will make that video for you guys. We'll do a live stream at the end of next month, and I'm sure, as much as changes in the last 3 weeks, I'm sure there'll be a ton of changes after the end of June. But yeah, guys. So, and there was one last comment here from Sandra. Everyone's going through a rough patch in their own way. I think you've been a real trooper hanging in there. Have a great birthday ahead. Well, thank you. I mean, I appreciate you seeing that I've kind of made it through everything I've made it through. So, I just got to figure out what to do with that stuff that's still going on, and then what to do from there. Because I've never had to, my entire life, I've never had to figure that out before, what I'm doing. So anyway, I gotta go figure that out. And I will see you guys in a video or two in June. We'll hang out again at the end of June and do this again. And just leave me any comments in the meantime. I read through everything, at least, even if I can't respond. So you can always get a hold of me that way. And I will see you guys next month.